Live. Brad, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I got my buddy Ben Coombs with me today, guys.
Hi, everybody.
So this is a first for me, having somebody on with me. And thanks to this new platform, StreamYard, we've been able to put this together. What I did is I called Ben on Wednesday, and I'm like, Ben, you got to help me figure out how to do this kind of stuff. And so thank you so much for helping me out there.
Yeah, I was able to do that once I kicked out that other guy from the Phoenix area off my channel. You know how it is.
It's almost like you're on vacation out here in Arizona this week.
I know. It was a wonderful day. I talked to Phil McKnight. I talked to you. I had Lawrence Petros on the phone with me as well.
LPD pedals. I know. We're all neighbors. It's really kind of cool. There's another guy, I forget his channel, but there's another guy that does like video game shred guitar stuff.
Okay.
And he lives in this neighborhood too.
And Dave R's Guitars just relocated from Oregon down to your area.
Really?
Yep.
Dave R Guitars. You guys drop in my shop sometime, buddy.
Yeah. I see you already got Brad Miller, some guy named Ben Coombs, Jordan
Upside Down.
Upside Down, Alex TDM22. Phil Local Music, the Count himself.
Yeah. Now, Gerald.
Hello, Gerald.
Yeah, Gerald sent me a gift. Can you believe I'm getting gifts from people?
It's scary, isn't it?
Gerald sent me a gift.
Hey, Charlie.
Gerald lives in Texas.
Okay.
There you have it, guys.
Oh, nice.
As much as I hate the Dallas Cowboys, but I'm still going to see Gerald. Thank you so much for that.
There we go.
He got me a flag.
Well, speaking as a Canadian, there is the Dallas Stars, the Phoenix Coyotes,
Yeah. And even having ice hockey in Phoenix, that don't make much sense to me.
We just call it hockey.
Hockey.
The ice is a given.
Yeah.
It's sort of like people say, oh, I went snow skiing. No, we just call it skiing.
Yeah. Dry Heat 480, how you doing?
Yeah. Brad Miller says, hey, Ben Coombs, I think I know.
Do me a favor and hand me that guitar that you brought in. I'm at a guitar shop right now. My open sign is plugged in. It is lit up, and I'm open for business. So there's going to be times where I might have to answer my phone, or I have to deal with some customers.
Well, fortunately, I've done one or two live streams in my time, so I might be able to pick up the slack for you.
There you go. That would be awesome.
Ooh.
So I want to show you this old girl.
Oh, I like that.
This is a 1968 Hummingbird.
Nice.
Wow, the action's real nice on it.
Those things, they sound great. I can't play them. The necks are just too big for me.
Yeah, it's not huge. Carlos, you have a great day, man. Thanks for coming in.
Brad Miller is asking you, have you bought any Gibsons from a guy named Gabe?
Yeah, I have. Is that the empty gig bag? Hey, Carlos, where'd you put the Epiphone at? Oh, I thought we were going to trade. I thought it ended up being mine. See, I'm still doing deals. Trying to do deals.
Always. Got to be wheeling and
dealing. I got the guitar and the pedals. I gotta do that. Brad Miller, how you doing? I bought a 2019 Gibson Les Paul Jr. double cutaway from him.
Looking for tobacco burst he had.
Gabe's real name is Chris, just so you know.
There's BB Ninja. Salut, mon ami. Comment ça va? He's out of Switzerland, so French being his primary language, so I use any and all French I know.
Okay. No, I thought it was for everything. Okay. All right. Okay. Here I am. I'm trying to focus. I'm trying to come back to you.
Hey,
So,
Gary. Hello.
So Ben, you're doing this new video every day for the month of August. Every day, video every day in August.
Well, I was. Today was actually my last one. I'm actually going to cut it short this month due to YouTube being how it is lately and being summertime. It was actually hurting me putting out at least a video a day. Sometimes, sometimes two, because you don't want to saturate the market too much. And it's like, I've got demo vids and stuff I want to put out, but it's like, I already put out a vlog. So it's like, do I want to put out 2 or 3 videos in a day? So I was talking with some YouTubers and stuff. I got a message from a big YouTuber this morning who just asked me, like, look, what are you looking to do with it? Because he ran the numbers on my channel. And by last week, I was hemorrhaging subscribers. Like, it's one thing, if views are down, it's fine. But when you drop 10 subs in one day, it hurts.
Yeah, that's happened to me before. I you know what? It's this weird thing where you're hoping to get more and more subs every day. And sometimes you get some and sometimes you don't get some. Yeah. And one thing that McKnight has told me is, man, stop. You're going to go crazy if you keep thinking about it. Yeah. And
you don't want to sweat the details, but when you notice, it's like, okay, the weather's nice. Numbers are going to be down, but or usually for me, it's when I go live, I lose a subscriber, and then within a couple hours, I'll gain a subscriber. So it's right. But
I know,
like when you're checking in to answer comments and you notice that subscriber number is going down by the hour, it's like, all right.
Look on that. Do you follow yourself on Social Blade?
A bit on Social Blade. I used to. Yeah. Now it's just more using browser extensions like vidIQ, TubeBuddy, things like that. Right. Which you incorporate it, like say, it's just a piece of software. It goes into Google Chrome, but it allows you to see more stuff within YouTube. And I follow some YouTube creator channels that basically they put out channels just to help us grow our channels, tips and stuff like that. Yeah. So I watch a lot of that stuff, and yeah, there's been a couple changes to YouTube, and they're making it harder and harder for the small guys to grow. I will say that.
Well, I started off doing it just to try to promote my store, because I said you're in a music store every day, and so I try to show people new items that I've gotten.
Yep.
And so look at this bad boy right here. Oh, let me see if I can do this. Everything's backwards. I got a new T-Rex pedal today.
Nice.
Yeah, kind of cool.
Very cool. T-Rex is great stuff.
Out
of Denmark, I want to say they're out of.
Yeah, so real quick, I got just a few pedals. I got a Joyo AC Tone today. Now, I have 2 of these in my shop.
They're a nice pedal.
So if you want to sound like the old box AC 30s or whatever.
Yeah, and not have to play at ear-bleeding volumes.
I got a Boss loop station.
Handy.
Yeah. And now this thing is kind of unique. This is an AMT Electronics tube cake.
Ooh.
And this is made in Russia. It's Russian. Yeah.
Russian is good.
Yeah. And this is actually a little 3-watt amplifier.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Huh.
How neat is that?
I like that.
I got my good friend Bernie's in the house today. And then I got this little spring reverb from a company called, I can't even, everything's backwards.
Mosky?
Mosky.
Mosky. Okay.
Interesting. So this is one of those little, probably most likely you can get this on Amazon for $25 or something, kind of a pedal.
Right.
And I did a whole series of videos, the cheapest pedal, the cheapest reverb, the cheapest delay, distortion, and it's been getting, some of them get 200-300 views. They're not really taking off, but it's something that,
and those videos,
you look back and you're like, wow.
Sure. Like I can say as a fellow YouTuber, those videos, it's like, let's say I'll do a live hangout like this, right? We're going to get 200 views in an hour. another 100 views by the end of the day, another 100 views the next day, and then that's it. Because nobody really watches live streams, say, a week after the fact, unless they're binge watching.
Yeah,
Whereas,
so we really appreciate you guys that are on with us right now.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And the weird thing is...
I see the counter. Now we have 16 people watching us.
Nice. Yeah, and the weird thing is you'll do a demo video, and let's say it only gets 50 views the first hour or two. Yeah. It only gets, say, 100 views after 2 or 3 days. But that same video is going to get 1 or 2 hits a day every day.
I know.
And the way
sometimes I want to go back in my history, because I've done videos for just over maybe 2 years now. And some of the old ones, I kind of think, maybe I ought to just delete that one. Because I'm not good. I'll admit it. I'm not good at doing pedal reviews.
Right.
And I think you and Phil were talking about this, the honeymoon portion. I get a brand new pedal and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do a video on this pedal this afternoon. Well, you know what? I just got this thing 15 minutes ago. I don't even know it yet.
Right.
And so it's a great idea to really learn something for a month or so.
Yeah.
Get over what Phil calls that honeymoon stage.
Yep.
And then you can do a proper. And so I'm guilty of that.
Overdrives I can pretty much do, within a day, we'll say, because you kind of know what it, especially if it's, hey, this is a Klon clone. Well, we know what a Klon's going to sound like. You know how to demo a Klon. But when you get into some of the stuff like modulation, delays, or ones that have toggle switches that do unique little things, sit down with it for a few days. Like I got one, I've been sitting on it now. It came in while I was away at Summer NAMM, and I still haven't done the review on it yet because I'm still not 100% comfortable with it.
Yeah, it's always a good idea to kind of take your time, and you feel under a little bit of pressure. Hey, I haven't done a video since I ran over 16 balloon guitars last week. And so, what's kind of fun for me is this is a flyer, and you guys probably aren't going to be able to read that, but my punk rock band called the Fed Ups. I'm the lead singer.
Nice.
I play guitar. We actually have a gig next Saturday on August 24th at a little tiny bar down in Tempe, Arizona. There's 3 other punk bands on the bill. And it's one of those things where I wrote songs like 14 years ago. And my old guitar player from 11 years ago called me up and said, he's like, hey, Dane, I hear you got a gig over at Time Out Lounge. And I'm like, yeah, I do. And after about 3 minutes, I'm like, Pat, do you want to rejoin the band and play the gig? And he's like, yeah. So I got my old guitar player from 11 years ago.
Nice.
Yeah, and he went to rehearsal with me a couple Thursdays ago, and it's like he'd only been gone for a month. He remembered the songs 11 years later.
Well, that's a nice thing with punk rock is tell me the key. Chances are it's going to be a 1-4-5. You know when the changes are coming. It's timeless, and it is like putting on an old pair of shoes. Takes you a few minutes to get used to them, but as soon as you do, you're like, oh yeah, this is what I remember.
Yeah, and so we had a rehearsal last night, and so I'm kind of probably sound like my voice is a little raspy today.
Not too bad. We got Terry's GG&G in the house. Good to see you, Terry.
Do you ever had any of these aqua dip things?
That's wild.
Yeah. I call this one Pepto and blood and urine.
It's very psychedelic. With those color choices, it reminds me a lot of 60s psychedelic.
It's too bad that the ones that I like to dip, I don't do them myself, but I have friends that dip guitars. And the ones where you got a pick guard, you're kind of not doing justice to the guitar by having that big old white pick guard on there. It's always the guitars without the pick guard are always better. Yeah.
You need the dip guard.
It would look too crazy if you dip the guard in a different color scheme. It would just be too busy.
Okay, Ben, I want to play a little game right now.
All right.
I need your help, Ernie. Okay, I want you to come up with an item that you think I might have here in my store. And so give me an item. All you guys in the comments are going to be like, do you think he has this item in his store, or is he just dreaming?
All right.
Then I'm going to get my friend Bernie here. If I have the item, I'm going to grab it and show you guys. So give me an item you think I might have. Now, keep in mind, it's a used guitar shop. I have nothing brand new except strings, right?
Okay. Well, I prefer that you carry the new strings and not the used ones. I do. As a guitar player, I appreciate that.
It's tough selling used strings. It's tough.
Do you have an Ibanez RG series?
Do.
Or close to?
Grab me that Ibanez right there, Bernie. It's that blue one on the back wall. I'm working. Guys come in here, and again, I always make this the old reference to the old High Infidelity movie where the guy had the record store and he has employees that work for free. I got a bunch of those guys.
Yep.
Oh my God, guys, look at this thing. It is an RG.
Look at that lower horn.
RG 550 30 fret.
Look out. Okay.
No.
So many frets, they lost a pickup.
Well, you know, one thing that it does, here's the 24th fret right here.
That's your 12th.
That's the 12th, yeah. Here's the 24th.
There we go.
Here's the 24th fret right here. And so it gives you plenty of access into this neighborhood.
Sure. That's crazy.
And so I made a video. Is this possibly Ibanez's biggest failure? And again, the videos had maybe 500.
Oh, I don't know. They
that.
came out with a few winners over their, let's say, 40, 45-year history.
Yeah. So the Ibanez 30 fret, super nice guitar.
See, I wouldn't call it a failure, even if it didn't sell well, because it seems like there's been a few companies over the years that have tried to do a 30 fret guitar.
Right.
And it's such a niche market. So, hey, if you sell a
few. It really is. But about 2 weeks ago, I freaked out because the band Dragon Force, they're like these new dudes and they're just shredding. They're just crazy shredders. There's a brand new Dragon Force video out that just came out about 2 weeks ago. Here, Bernie, I'll hand that back. And the dude is playing the Ibanez 30 fret exactly like that in this brand new Dragon Force video. Oh, cool. And, you know, I don't keep up with new bands and stuff like that very much. I'm the old 80s hair Motley and Van Halen kind of guy. But I just happened upon this video because you know what I do? I sit here at my store every day. And then when I get home, I get on my big screen and I watch YouTube videos.
Sure.
And I came across the Dragon Force video and I'm like, well, what the hell? I seen Steve Terryberry wanting to play Triangle in Dragon Force.
Nice.
And he made a video about that. So I watched the Dragon Force video and they're an amazing band. But it really tripped me out. The guy was playing an Ibanez 30 fret in that.
Cool. And we should get one of your neighbors keeps blowing up my phone, so I turned it off. Petros is all over.
What? Who's that?
Yeah, Lawrence,
my name.
Petros keeps texting me, so I'm like, no, I'm busy.
I'm gonna guess. We lost Ben. Oh, hey, man, we lost you for a second there. How weird. Hey. I see Robert Scott is on, and Robert Scott is
Black Country Blues.
Robert Scott is my good buddy that paints guitars for me, just out of his hobby.
Cool.
He paints guitars, and I think I've showed some of you guys this Kramer.
Yeah.
But he painted this thing.
Nice.
And he stood up on the ladder and dripped black paint on it. But this is an Kramer Focus 1000. I see you got a Focus set in there, that red one, huh?
I do.
Is that the 1000 or what do you got?
This is a 6000.
Oh.
So, the 3 pickups we were talking about on your live show a week or two ago with the 3 mini toggles. There we go.
You got to take off. Will you hand me one more guitar before you go? It's that Kramer Focus 6000 right there with the 3 toggles.
I actually picked this up June of last year.
Well, so you've had that thing for a while now.
Yeah. I've gigged with it. It's kind of funny playing Tom Petty and Beatles covers on a Kramer with a Floyd Rose.
Bye, Bernie. Okay. Yeah, so look at this. I have the black one.
Nice. Yeah, that looks a little familiar.
I put an Ibanez pickup in it.
Okay. This one has a Duncan JB in the bridge.
Yeah, I need a better one. But it's got the made in Japan on the back there.
Mine doesn't actually say that.
Huh.
And mine's missing the control cover right now because the control cover is out in California.
Mine has a checkerboard control cover. How weird is that?
Very cool.
Yeah.
Mine's off being signed by Gary Kramer. So,
wow.
Yeah. Beefy says, my friends Sebastian and Lars, the original T-Rex owners, have rebooted T-Rex after it filed for bankruptcy earlier this year. They had to reduce staff levels, though. Oh, it's good to hear that T-Rex will be coming back.
Yeah, they're great. And the Mud Honey distortion pedal, I think JHS Pedals put that in his latest video.
Right.
And I do have a T-Rex Mud Honey pedal sitting over there.
Phil Mosley is back. He's now at a computer, so he can actually say hi to people. Nice. Rick Hefner. Hey, buddy. Lots of familiar faces and names in here.
Yeah, and I was going to ask people to, if you haven't subscribed to Ben Coombs, go ahead and do it. But I'm pretty sure all these guys, they're most likely, I think they're subscribed to both.
There's a half dozen names I haven't seen before.
Yeah.
Oh, I see now I don't answer my texts and Lawrence Petros shows up in the chat.
LPD pedals, baby.
Sorry, Lawrence, I had to turn off my phone. You and Aaron were blowing it up, so I was busy. But yeah, anybody that wants to subscribe, click on the 3 dots to the right of the name. Go to channel. Please subscribe. Greatly appreciated.
And Lawrence,
recap with you for Sunday and Monday. I'll say, people, hey, what'd you do this week? Oh, well, I was hanging out with Dane on his channel. Check it out. Blah blah blah. Plug plug plug.
So here it is. This is the LPD 87.
I could tell just by the color.
Yeah.
You showed the back of the pedal. I'm like, that's an 87.
Uh-huh. And this thing sounds great.
Doesn't it? It does.
And Lawrence, I am down to just this one pedal. So the others, I've sold, a half a dozen or so LPD pedals in the last year or so. So if you want to bring me some more, I don't care which ones you bring in, whatever the fun flavor of the week.
I'm going to say a couple 68s, an 87, maybe a 74. I'm just looking down my pedal board because I have Lawrence Petros pedals on the pedal board. So
bring me some more, Lawrence.
Let me know what you need, he says. Well, we just discussed it, Lawrence.
I want the flavor of the week. What's new?
Yeah, I don't think, the Lost Dutchman isn't in production yet, so I have to hold off on that, but that's an amazing pedal. The Phoenix Fuzz Upside Down says. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that Phoenix.
I had the Green Russian. I had the LPD Green Russian down here for a while.
Nice. That's right, Terry. He says, I welcome all donations as long as they don't contain maple products.
I have a guitar to show you guys. Do you mind if I show you guys guitars?
I think you're preaching to the choir here. Afternoon, Jim. How are you doing, Dane? I did get my yo-yo. Thanks for that. Arizona Kelly says.
Oh, wow. That's
awesome,
cool.
Arizona Kelly. I have my Zimms pedal or yo-yo right up here on display somewhere. Because it's all
so you mentioned maple. And so
that's the only good thing maple is good for, Dane, is for building guitars. That's the only time I like maple.
Okay, so this is my Chapman ML1 Pro Modern.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure.
See you, Lawrence. Lawrence has to go build those pedals now to bring into your shop.
Tons of maple on this bad boy, right?
Yeah.
And you can tell because it's heavy.
Right.
And then, oh man, just this part of the neck right here, when you put your hand right in there, you know what I'm saying? How good that feels right there?
Yeah, when you don't have to have a neck heel. It's nice.
Yeah.
That's one thing I don't have. I don't own a neck through guitar yet.
There'll be a day. The day will come. And, you know, I actually went to Guitar Center up in Scottsdale. And I took a couple guitars with me and I traded them in. And I bought this Chapman. And, of course, one day McKnight came in here and he loves lightweight guitars.
Right.
And I was very anxious and excited to show Philip this Chapman that I got. And he took it out of the case and he went like this and he goes, "Oh, it's too heavy." He set it back down. End of conversation. Yeah. That's how that one ended.
I'm looking at it and my back is getting sore.
Yeah, it's probably 7.5 or 8 pounds, maybe just over 8, I'm gonna guess.
Sounds about right.
It's not like it's Les Paul heavy.
Tell me about it. My first electric guitar was a 72 Les Paul. It killed my back.
Right.
I was good for 2 songs.
I have a 2012 traditional Pro 2, and it's heavy. And just the word traditional, when you hear that in a Les Paul, you're going to say to yourself, okay, there's going to be some weight to that thing.
Yep.
I also have a 90 Gibson Les Paul, a 1993 Studio Light. I think it's a 93, but it's like a navy blue color, but it's kind of lightweight because
they're hollow
that they did. Yeah, they're
they
hollow.
do a lot of chambering.
Yeah. Steve, how you doing today, buddy?
Good. I don't think.
Don't make no noise.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you can play, but just
Answer your question, Arizona Kelly. Yes, it would have contributed somewhat because when Chapman left Riff City basically lost. What put Riff City on the map, don't quote me on this, was 1, they had Chapman guitars, and 2, they were carrying all the pedal brands that nobody else was carrying. And I'm talking, 5 to 10 years ago, the Keeleys, the JHSs, all that stuff. As other guitar shops started carrying the pedals, they were relying more and more on the Chapman exclusivity, to set them apart. Once they lost Chapman, they just became another guitar shop. There was nothing unique. They were just another mom and pop at that point, and you're not going to do the volume of sales. At least that's what my impression was.
Well, what I heard about the whole Riff City going out of business is he's a very successful man that ran that company, and they're basically, he's working 40, 50 hours a week, and the overhead and the amount of actual profit that you make selling new guitars, it just wasn't enough for him, and he's financially able to try other things in his life.
Yeah, he does have some other businesses on the go, and
so he got out of it just because he gave it a try for a little while, and I don't know how long they worked out that company, but after a while, he's like, "Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna try other stuff." Because
there's also some other stuff that's
he was
let's just say
successful.
Not public knowledge, but those within the industry know. And all I'll say about it is part of the reason for them closing is karma.
Oh, really?
All I'm going to say on that, because me and my channel, I like to keep things positive, so I just won't say it.
I just heard after a while he was like, there's other things I want to do, spending my time. I don't want to be stuck down here at my shop and doing this. Well, hey guys, what's the news on BC Rich? BC Rich is coming out strong. This is an older, well, not too much old. This is probably a 2011, made in China, gunslinger.
Nice.
I love this kind of stuff right here.
I have a BC Rich as well. See, that's why we get along so well.
I know. That is true. And we both sort of have similar playing styles. Sometimes I'll end up looking at my channel overall, and I've made videos. Ooh. Mockingbird.
Yeah. With F-tone pickups in it.
Uh-oh. How many guitars do you have in your collection altogether?
Playable 14. and then a handful of projects. I was given a guitar yesterday that's completely torn apart, so it needs a full restoration, and it's gonna be fun because the logo is missing off the headstock, so I have no idea what kind it is, and there's like an empty square in the pick guard, so it probably had like dual switches or something like they would do in the Jazz Masters. But
You have it sitting right there with you where you can show us real quick. Where's it at?
yeah.
Take a look. We need visual aids. That's what I always say. Every time I live stream, I have plenty of visual aids. So you got a nice little Vox sitting there. So you got the PV Viper. Oh, is that like an old Japanese 1970s Japanese thing?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's got 5 Samick tuners on it, but I do have a set of tuners I can put on it.
There you go.
And then it's got this real funky pick guard with this big opening that I got to figure out what the hell's went in that. So
Some sort of toggle switches or something.
that's what I'm thinking. So I'll have to find some photos online, but since it doesn't have a bloody name on it, it's going to be real fun to hunt down.
Are you into the old Japanese 70s stuff, like all those little, the
I am.
Tescos and Teiscos and all that? Yeah.
Oh, I love all that stuff. Looks like the pickups weren't originally angled either because the pick guard doesn't line up.
I have some of
Oh
that.
no, the front one. That's what it is. It's just the neck pickup is angled and it's not supposed to be. But the interesting thing, now, when you hear about innovation with guitars, the big thing I noticed was like this thing is probably made, mid to late 60s, truss rod adjustment at the base of the neck, wheel style truss rod.
Yeah, it's in the heel there.
Oh wait, here we go. Model MJ-2L with a
Right,
serial
right.
number and
Yeah, those Tescos there. Yeah, I was watching The Guitologist, like we all watch, and
Yep.
he had that third one right there. Yes, sir. Please, yeah. And he did a video where he crawled in his closet underneath his stairs,
right.
and trying to sell all his projects. Now here's a.
Oh snap! This thing's got brass saddles.
Oh, how about that?
Ooh.
I got this little girl sitting here,
Oh, that's cool.
and that's the same thing. The truss rod's in the heel.
Yeah,
And,
which is funny because
thing
whoever
weighs like
started
3
doing that
pounds.
in the last 20 years, they're like, "Oh, this is our invention," like Ernie Ball or something. You're like, "Nope."
And of course, they're not really in tune very good, right? But this one, it's pretty cool. And I get these from time to time, and there's a market for it. There's guys that come in my store, and this is all they want are these old Japanese things. And so I keep them around, but honestly, I'm not really into them.
Hey, Mars man. See, Phil Mosley says that Project Guitar has some mojo. Yes, it does. Sounds good, BV. I shall do that. See, that's what I love about the community. Already, BV's like, hey, PM me some photos of the guitar with the serial numbers, and he'll ask some of his friends over in Japan.
I know. Wow.
Okay. Cool. Oh, here we go.
That thing will be going in no time.
64 Teisco Del Rey MJ-2L. All right, now I got to turn my phone on so I can take a picture of that comment. Very cool. Rocker switches to pick up, so okay, Brad might be able to help you get some of the switches. Cool. Now, Terry, do you mean Brad the Guitologist? I'm just curious. Or Brad Miller, who's in the chat?
So I made that video. I don't know if all you guys have seen it or not, but I took guitar balloons And I took it. My buddy had a truck, and I went out in the back parking lot here, and we
I
ran
loved it.
over guitars. And we're kind of spoofing on the whole Gibson running over and destroying all those Firebird X's.
And I must say, those inflatable guitars are pretty robust because they weren't blowing up. You know, they weren't popping.
I know it. And I just hope those 4 guys that I put in that video aren't going to get mad at me, because I did kind of use them and their, you know, videos to kind of make a spoof on stuff.
I think it was all fun. It wasn't like you're going like put up, say, a photo of me and go, look at this guy. You know, he doesn't know what he's talking about. You know, it's one thing to use a photo and you're slagging the person. If it's all in fun, I don't think
it was all in fun. Totally was. And I don't mean to. And Cheddar, you know, it's a great guy. I put him in there, and we like Ryan 60 Cycle Hum. I met him at NAMM. You know, I won't go to Summer NAMM way out in Nashville or Memphis. It's too far for me to go. But I'll go to Winter NAMM in LA, because I can jump in my car, and it's 5.5, 6 hour drive to get over there.
Right.
So I'll do that. But he was in my yo-yo video.
Nice.
Where I got
a good guy. I ran into him at Summer NAMM. I missed him at Winter NAMM. I ran into him at Summer NAMM. I had a good 10-minute chat with him. I will say that is the nice thing about Summer NAMM is it's so laid back. You know, because you can see everything in like 3 hours. So then it's just a party. You're just hanging out, shooting the breeze.
Right.
You know, like I'd run you, hey Dane, you know, and what we did, we'd probably be talking a lot about your store. I'd be picking on retail. You'd be picking on YouTube. What's that?
Are you going to try to hit Anaheim for Winter NAMM this coming year?
I was there at the last one. I will be there again. Yep. Yeah, awesome. I did a GoFundMe last year, and the fine folks in the guitar community largely they covered the majority of the expenses for me to get out there, and then I just couch surf to keep costs down.
Oh, I know. You know, I took airfare when I went out to NAMM, Winter NAMM in Anaheim. I flew out there.
Mm-hmm.
And then that night, believe it or not, I called the hotel right there by Disneyland, and it was the Holiday Inn or whatever it was. Right. And they actually had a room, and it cost me like $280 to get a room that night. But I mean, I needed to sleep, because that's a lot of walking, you know. That's like you probably walk 20 miles a day when you're out there in Anaheim.
Oh, easy. Yeah.
And my original plan was to fly out on Saturday. You know, I flew in Friday. I was going to fly out Saturday. And then screw that airplane. I caught a ride home on Sunday with some people that I knew out there. And like you said, I slept on the couch, you know, Saturday night. And it was well worth it, because I got to meet so many people on Saturday. It was super cool.
I say you can't walk 50 feet without hitting a YouTuber, an industry person, or an actual rock star.
I know it.
You literally, folks, you cannot walk more than 50 feet or a minute worth of walking. You know.
And these are the people that I admire, have through my entire life. You know what I'm saying? And so, super cool, man, going to those events. I love that. Wow, 25 people.
Mostly says, I'm going to save what I can, hope for the best, couch surfing. Yeah, because he'd be coming over from England. And that's the way to do it. Summer NAMM, same thing. I slept on an air mattress in my buddy's home office, fortunately. And then Aaron slept on a couch in the living room. And that's the way we do it. You know, keep it low cost.
Mm-hmm.
Do people move up to split rooms and stuff upside down? Oh, for sure.
Mm-hmm. And I think the audience of people that want to attend, you know, it kind of runs in cycles, because people will do it for 4, 5, maybe 10 years in a row, and then they're like, no, I have no interest in going out there anymore. Right. And for me, sitting here thinking, do you want to go to NAMM? And I'm like, well, the purpose of me, because I'm in a used guitar shop.
Right.
I don't carry any brands.
Right. And basically, you would talk to Ernie Ball, because I can see like the Ernie Ball strings behind you. So you talk to Ernie Ball. Maybe they have a new string out.
Dealer. I'm a Dunlop dealer. I'm a GHS. a string dealer. But other than that, I don't have any brand new BC Riches or Deans or Ibanez, but there's places I could get those, but I just feel like it's sort of my niche to just stay used.
Well, used is good because you feel less pressure going into a used place. Like I walk in there, it's like hang out in your man cave as much as a store in many ways, right? Whereas you go into a Guitar Center, you feel, like you feel the pressure from the sales associates, right? Because they're there to sell, whereas you're just as easily, especially places like yours, it could be, I might come in just like, hey, I'm having this weird signal issue. Have you ever come across, just to pick your brain and stuff like that?
Yeah, it's tons of fun. It's tons of fun.
But, definitely anybody watching, if you are in the Phoenix area, shop at Zimms because he's a mom and pop.
I am. Without the mom.
Help the independents. They're the ones, I did that in one of my Veda videos, support your mom and pops. Like I was saying, maybe you sell strings for 50 cents a pack more in Guitar Center. I'll gladly give you that 50 cents because really, what can you buy with 50 cents in life? It's part of a cup of coffee. But I know you could use that sale a lot more than Guitar Center could. My store has a little sort of a barbershop feel to it where I have a lot of chairs and guys just come down here and they loiter. And I'm okay with that. And I have a lot of... it kind of feels like a neighborhood bar without the keg of beer because I get the same, and I have the same, I'm going to say 30 to maybe 50 people that support me. So it is sort of like a little neighborhood bar and without the alcohol. But, it's been really fun lately. I have probably 250 guitars in here. Hey, nice guy.
So it's been kind of fun. Hey, nice guy, Eddie.
Well, and I like hitting the places like that because you're going to have stuff that nobody else has.
This is true.
And
when you buy a guitar brand new at Guitar Center, the time you carry it out of the door, it's already depreciated.
Yeah. Whereas chances are, like assuming you have everything reasonably priced and you're a good guy. So chances are I buy a guitar from you. If I don't like it, at most I'm going to lose, say, $50 or something. Like you're not losing half the value as soon as you walk out the door.
Right.
Chances are you're gonna make your money back.
And I know that I need the 50 people or so that come in here and are regulars.
Yep.
I give those guys smoking deals on stuff because I need them to keep coming back.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah. So I give people smoking deals. I have a little inventory book where I write down. I don't do anything on computer. You guys are I needed Ben to help me set all this up today. But I have an inventory book where I get a Mitchell guitar and I paid $78 for it or something. I write that stuff down. And if somebody comes in and is like, how much you want for this Mitchell? Open up my book. And if I even, hey man, I'll go $88 just to make $10 and move that guitar down the road.
Sure.
So I do that stuff all the time, especially if it's the people that I know and it's my regulars that come in here.
Yeah, if you can flip it at enough of a profit, keeps the doors open.
Yeah.
Why not, right? Like, sure, you could sit on for 6 months and make $100 more. Well, you sell it today, you flip that money into another guitar, flip it, and say one guitar a month. Well, 6 months later, you made 300 instead of that extra one.
Right. And those regular 30 or 50 people that come in here, they're seeing the inventory moving around because you hit the guitar shop and you look at the inventory, and then maybe 2-3 weeks later or maybe a month later, you walk back into that shop and it's the exact same inventory. You're like, screw that place.
Yeah. Yeah, I have that, because I could go into like my buddies that own Arden's Music. I might be in there 3 times in a week. Right. And on the third time, one of my buddies will tag along. He's like, hey, man, you got to try this guitar. I already played it. You got to try this guitar. I'm like, actually, I just put out a video on it 2 days ago. I was like, I already played everything.
How much used stuff do they do out of that store?
Very little. Very little.
That's too bad. In my opinion, that's too bad.
Mainly because, like, they're a Fender dealer. They're an Ibanez dealer.
Zimms Guitars. It's going good.
All right. Upside Down wants to live in the UK. Good to know.
Oh, yeah. It's all ready for you.
That sucks. Nice guy, Eddie, on your Check Your Bass.
Sounds good, man. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Try pumping the mids a bit, maybe. Nice guy, Eddie. But yeah, mostly new. They carry a lot of brands, and there is much a less in place as a retailer too. So, you know, a lot of the I don't like using the term low end. You know, more affordable in the lines of stuff. Student guitars was the affectionate name we had for them in the 60s and 70s because that's the majority of their clientele.
Right.
Although I still find it funny as hell. I'll be going into the store, you know, to shoot some demos or something, you know, and I look like I do. And the area to the lesson room is right inside the front door, and it's a double door setup. And so I'll hold the door, not, you know, pun from the channel, hold the door for, say, a mother and son to walk out, you know, your typical quote unquote soccer mom. And she'll take one look at me and do the old up and down and kind of sneer. And I'm like, lady, you're paying $50 a lesson, hoping your kid grows up to be me. You know, that's the ultimate irony.
Yeah, maybe so. You need to convince those guys over there because that's your neighborhood guitar shop. And you need to convince those guys to start looking at more into the used market because I think they're missing out on a few opportunities. I could be way wrong, but maybe so.
Well, we've got 3 or 4 pawn shops in town, so they kind of take care of the used market.
Fun.
Oh, I call pawn shops to me, they're the pound. You know, because if I buy a guitar at a pawn shop, I'll be like, look what I rescued from the pound.
Yeah.
Now that's cool. I dig that.
Yeah, now this is a Charvel. And it's got a little headstock injury right there. I don't know if you guys can see that.
Oh, I noticed.
Yep. Yeah. And this body, my buddy Robert that was on a little while ago, he painted it for me. And I said, man, give me the Warren DeMartini Rat, you know, round and round video guitar. And he did his best to do that, and I really appreciate it. And
very cool.
I have a stack of guitars back here that is kind of like my guitars. You know what? I don't hang them out here, and I just hide them in the back.
Carl, I'll have to disagree with you. He says Canada ain't that great. Trust me. I love Canada, buddy. Go figure. My show is Canucks with guitars. That's the weekly show. You know, I love Canada. I love to travel, but I love coming home. Upside Down says pawn shop prices around here are astronomical. Well, that's the funny part is, you know, people will say you can't find those real pawn shop deals anymore because now with the internet, everybody knows the value of everything.
That's true.
Well, the pawn shops
have to be an expert at guitars.
Yeah, I picked up a Les Paul Jr., like my Talent, which was sold at a Walmart. The guy had it priced $75 higher than new. And when you bought it new, it came with a cable and an amplifier. And this didn't have the cable or the amplifier. And I just laughed. He's like, what? I said, dude, that's not a $200 guitar. Walmart sold them with an amp for $125.
Right.
No, I said, yeah. You know, I picked mine up.
One tip that I have, if you go into a pawn shop, is don't ever look at the price on the guitar and think that's the price of the guitar. You should at least get 30% off. I used to, you know, I haven't been in a pawn shop in 3 years or so because I just don't have time to do it. I'm stuck here. I come in here 7 days a week, even on Sundays. But again, it is sort of my man cave / store at the same time, you know?
Exactly.
But
I was bad in the 90s. The 90s was terrible.
I would always hit the pawn shop and offer half price of what they have the tag at.
Right.
If they got something priced at $200, you go, I'll give you $100 for it. And a good percentage of the time, the guy, if depending on how long they've had the guitar sitting around, they'll say, okay, we'll do that.
Yeah. I was bad in the 90s because, you know, you'd have guy would have a couple like Samick Stratocasters, you know, stuff like low end stuff like that. I'd say priced for $100 a piece, and he'll have 6 of them, and I'd just say, okay, how much for all of them?
Yeah, yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah,
I'll give you $350 for all of them.
Yeah,
and I knew he was buying stuff and basically doubling it, and that's what his price was. So I knew what he had into him because he made the mistake of telling me. Literally, I doubled the price on everything what I pay, and I went, okay, well, guess what? I'm offering you 60% of retail then. You're still getting a 20% markup on your end, so you're making money. And that got to the point where stuff that's coming out of hold, he would call me up. Okay, you know, like every Tuesday, I'm pulling stuff out of the back room. Do you want first choice?
Wow,
Yeah.
it's nice.
So I would go through 20 to 30 guitars a year as a result. So.
Look what I got yesterday.
Ooh.
Yeah, digital metalizer.
Nice.
Blue label made in Japan. I think they maybe were all blue label Japan.
For a period of time. Some were green, I believe. Then again, I'm colorblind, so don't listen to me.
Whenever I get Boss pedals, a lot of times I'll take a photo of it and I'll send the photo over to Phil McKnight just to, because he loves Boss pedals.
Yeah, he was talking about that's the one thing he totally collects is Boss pedals.
Yeah, and he's bought one or two of them from me in the last year or two. But I just got this thing and I sent him a text, a picture of it in a text. And he didn't reply back to me. So maybe he already has it or he's just a very busy man.
I was going to say more option B, because I find it's usually about a 48-hour turnaround time on any text to Phil McKnight. And that's nothing against Phil. Yeah. He is very busy. That's why we're joking. You know, he was on the channel on Wednesday, and that's something we set up at Winter NAMM. Mm-hmm. You know, and it was just literally touch base every month or so. I'm like, how are you for the next few weeks? No, I'm still busy. Okay, no problem.
He definitely has his channel is awesome. And sometimes, and I know I shouldn't do it, but I've been making videos for over 2.5 years, around that time. And I'm at like 2,200 subscribers or something. And in that same amount of time, McKnight got like to 100,000 subscribers. Right. And so people say, hey, man, don't compare your channel to McKnight's because the dude is a genius.
I compare mine to Phil's only for content reasons. You know, like, well, what do you put out on your channel? Well, it's like Phil's. I do live streams. I also do product demos, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah. And I've done 3 or 4 sort of comedy parody sort of videos. And the last one I did where I ran over all the balloon guitars, you know. So you try a comedy video. I do my customer showcase videos. So what those are is a customer walks in the door and they're like, Dane, I want to show you this guitar. We open the lid and I get my camera nice and close to it. And he tells me about his guitar.
Love it.
And yeah.
Great idea.
So I call those customer showcase videos.
Yeah, because as much as we like, say, flipping through photos on Instagram of guitars, I want to hear the stories behind those guitars.
That's right. And how long they've owned the guitar, how and where they got it from, and what they paid, and how, you know, all those stories.
Sean has a 1985 Boss Heavy Metal HM2 pedal. Do you want to sell it, Sean? Woo! If so, hit me up. Email me at canuckswithguitars@gmail.com. Please.
Uh-oh. There it is.
That's it right there.
Now, this is made in Taiwan, HM2. It's got all kinds of, somebody like painted it. Do you see? I don't know.
Yeah, the paint was chipping. They went over with Sharpie
all over it. It's super. I've tried to set and clean this thing, but I think somebody stuck something down in here to like leave the knobs. You know how sometimes you'll get like putty or something, or, you know, just to keep the knobs on the same place. Yeah. But I've also heard stories where guys have everything to 10. That is the best way to run this pedal right here, is to keep everything at 10. So, yeah.
What I heard too, a lot of guys will do is you dial in the knobs the way you want, then pull the knobs off and put them back on at noon. So that's your setting. So, you know, even though it's not everything set to noon, optically it's an easy way to dial it in on a pedal board.
There you go.
Hey, James Severin, good to see you.
So what's also kind of fun is now I'm currently in 2 bands. Okay.
Dude, look out. I'm not even in one these days.
I play bass guitar in a band called the Whiskey Dogs. And I've been in this band for 12 years. And we're basically a cover band, although we have 4 original songs. Okay. And they're like biker songs. So I don't have a Harley, but all my guys have Harleys and they're bikers. And so we have a song called Ride It Like You Stole It. Mm-hmm. We have a song called Party Like a Rock Star. we have a song called Get on the Back of My Motorcycle. And so, yeah. So, but long story short, we're playing at the Whiskey A Go-Go on the Sunset Strip in West Hollywood on Friday, September 13th.
Nice.
So I take a California trip next month. And we're opening for the Iron Maidens. So it's
nice.
the girl Iron Maiden band. Hey, how you guys doing?
How do you mind? Just played the Whiskey a couple weeks ago.
You were?
No, my buddy Caleb he's got a Van Halen tribute band called Nerd Halen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they played there a couple of Mondays ago.
I love everything about the early David Lee Roth Van Halen. Probably my most favorite band of all time. Back in the day, I saw them, the 1980 Invasion, 1981, 82. The 1984 album was huge. And I went to the US Festival in San Bernardino and saw them. I'm a huge Van Halen fan.
Nice. Me too. Eddie's one of the reasons I got into playing, like a lot of other people.
And I love playing Michael Anthony riffs. He's a phenomenal bass player. I would love to be in a Van Halen tribute, but I look a little bit more like Roth than I do Michael Anthony. But there's no way I can sing those high harmony parts that Michael Anthony does. And when I met Michael Anthony, I said, Mike, I'm telling you, your background vocals in all the Van Halen stuff is just pure magic. I said, your background vocals are magical. And he's like, oh, okay. Well, thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
But I got to talk to him for a little bit.
He's very cool, yeah.
Guys, feel free to strum any of the guitars.
Oh, here to pick up a guitar.
Oh, that's right. Hey, you know what, Ben? Let's wrap this up because it's about quarter to 3. McKnight starts. I got a couple.
Everyone should be checking out McKnight in about 15 minutes.
But 30 guys watching that. You guys helped me set an all-time record for doing a live stream. And Ben, thank you so much. You guys
thanks for having me, man. I do appreciate it. And anybody out there, if you're new to or not familiar with my channel, I'm just going to say hi in the chat. Please stop by the channel, subscribe. It means a lot. So I do appreciate it. And thanks, Dane, for having me on. And
hey, let's do this. Let's do this again. Maybe you want every month or maybe every 6 weeks or so. You want to do it again?
Sure, hit me up.
Right.
You got my number.
I do. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good one.
Cheers, folks.
Bye-bye.
Is that on YouTube?
Yeah.